Welcome to Creativerse, your home of innovation, creation, and inspiration. I want to say welcome to the Creative Practicals phase of this course. So let's dive straight into it. Now, what is InDesign? Adobe InDesign is a professional layout and desktop publishing software made by Adobe. It's used to design and arrange text, images, and graphics into beautiful, print-ready or digital documents. It is a go-to tool for creating books, magazines, brochures, flyers, posters, and interactive PDFs. Now, many times we have three tools that designers use, which are Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. Now, let's see the relationship between Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. Now, Photoshop basically is an imaging and retouching software. It's best for photos, effects, web graphics, and maybe flyers that demand a lot of photo editing and masking effects. Illustrator is used basically for vector drawings, things like logos, icons, illustrations, and InDesign is a page layout and publishing tool used for books, magazines, flyers, and ebooks. In short, you could say Photoshop edits images, Illustrator creates them, and InDesign puts everything together for print or publication. Now let's see this in use. Okay, this is our Adobe InDesign software. We're going to make this together actually. Now I'm going to hit Shift W. Alright, Shift W. Now this is like the first page of let's say your brochure. I go page down. This is the inside spread, and this is the back page. Now if you look at this carefully, you observe that we have a logo here at the top. We have an image here, an image, and image here. If I hit page down, we have images, and so on and so forth. If I hit page down too, we have let's say a logo here too, and so on and so forth. I'm going to hit Shift W to go back. Now, coming up here, you discover that yes, we have a logo here. Now this logo was designed in Adobe Illustrator. Coming into my Adobe Illustrator, you observe that here we have the particular vector graphics that was made earlier, or that you saw in our InDesign document. Come here too, you will see the logo that was designed. Very easy. Now you understand that there's a kind of difference that exists between Adobe Illustrator and Adobe InDesign, though there are some similarities between these softwares, but each of them are good in their own way. Coming back to Adobe InDesign, you discover that yes, we have some images here, images here, and so on and so forth through our work. Coming into Photoshop, you discover that yes, a lot of things have been done to these images already. You can see them, right? You can see them, and so on and so forth. This was the background, all made from your Photoshop and brought into Adobe InDesign. So if I should hit Shift W to preview, you will discover that this was made in Adobe Illustrator, brought into Adobe InDesign. The background was made in Adobe Photoshop, brought to InDesign. Coming down to all these images 1, 2, 3, 4, all edited in Adobe Photoshop. Coming down to all these images you are seeing here, alright, were made in Photoshop. I hit page down. This was made in Adobe Illustrator. I hit Shift W again. Now this will make you to understand, or should make you to understand, that actually yes, Adobe InDesign is a layout tool. Okay, you make whatever you need to make from your Illustrator. You also bring in whatever you've made from your Photoshop, and you lay out them. Alright, and this is where things like paragraph style, object style, character style, and so on and so forth will be needed for consistency and hierarchy in Adobe InDesign. So, during the phase of this course, I'm going to be designing this with you. At the end of this course, you should be able to have designed this brochure. Now take note that everything you need to design this with me, alright, are in a zip folder, and I think you should first of all download them so that you can follow along with this course. Just in case you stay confused, let's see. Let me come into my folder. Let's move on to Photoshop. Let's go backwards a bit. Now you should have a folder labeled item. When you click this, you're going to be seeing everything that was used in our InDesign project. When I double click this image, for instance, all right, let's give it time for it to load, and I click here. If you observe, this image has some background and so on and so forth, but in our Photoshop we've tried removing the background, all right, which you can see from here. Alright, so bringing this home, you come to understand that to be an Adobe InDesign expert, you will need at least a basic understanding of Photoshop and Illustrator. So, see you in the next class where we are going to be making this from scratch. Alright, happy designing. Thank you.